Hi, everyone. Welcome to Curated by Becta's Meal Kit number 129 for December 15th to the 17th. Thanks for ordering this week, and thanks for letting us be a part of a special celebration at home. We've got a beautiful menu for you tonight, so I'm super excited to get started. We've got Rich's famous smoked baby back ribs. These are not your Swiss chalet ribs at home. So we've smoked these low and slow for a long time in our smoker in the kitchen, and they just come out beautifully. So what I've done is gone ahead and put them on a baking sheet at 450 degrees with some tin foil underneath, because you're going to put it on high broil later, and you do not want to light the parchment paper on fire, because we've had a guest do that before, and so anytime we go to 450 or a high broil, we make sure to use tin foil instead of parchment paper, because apparently parchment paper burns or catches on fire at 450. So don't do that. So why don't we think about our appetizer then? Actually, we've got a couple things going on with the ribs, because they need to be baked for 12 minutes, but then they're going to need to be basted and a few times over in order to finish them off at about 18 minutes total. So we've got our creamy grits, and they're going to go on a pot on medium low, and you're going to just warm those up gently. We need to put some butter in there. And by the way, this is the first time I've done this, but I'm putting music on in the background because I'm working on a new Curated by Becta finishing playlist and dining playlist. So if you get the emails, make sure that you check out our playlists, the current one, and hopefully I can have this next one posted by next week. So you'll be able to enjoy it for Christmas time. So I just took 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter and put it in the grits, and that's going to make it nice and creamy. Don't forget to season them, but you can do that near the end. Very important. I love seasoning a lot in the grits. A lot of cracked pepper especially, but a good amount of salt also. Okay, so let's look at what we're doing here for appetizers. So I think the fish cake, we want to get to medium-high heat on our pan. Let me double check. Medium-high heat, yes. And then we've got 2 tablespoons of neutral oil per person, grapeseed oil, canola oil, or vegetable oil will do. And you want to get that nice and hot because you want to sear them nicely. And then we're going to put them in the oven. So 2 minutes per side. So I've got a nice metal spatula here that will work well. And then we've got these shishito peppers, which are going to go in there a little bit later in the oven. So again, same neutral oil, but you're going to hit it with some pepper and salt. These boxes, by the way, that they come in are great for using as mixing bowls, so that you don't have to mess up your mixing bowls. No less dishes. And I would just suggest that you compost the boxes if you've used them as mixing bowls, or you can recycle them if they're dry and you haven't used them mixing bowls. Okay, so the shishitos, we're going to put them over here next to the barbecue sauce, because we're going to put them on the pan when the ribs come out when we do the high broil. Let's talk about the wine for a second. The white wine to go with the appetizer tonight, the smoked trout fish cakes, is a favorite of mine. We used this a few months ago with one of our Big Night In kits, and it's just super special, and we had some left before the end of the year, and so I wanted to offer it up. So Love Block Pinot Gris from New Zealand, and Kim Crawford makes this wine, so you probably had some Kim Crawford Sauvignon Blanc. Well, he sold to Constellation and kept his best vineyards for himself, and did this tiny little Love Block. It is literally a block of grapes, vines, that always had the most love for him. And so it's gorgeous, very aromatic. It's more like an Alsatian Pinot Gris than an Italian Pinot Grigio. Very luscious, rich, but still some vibrant acidity, and it's going to go great with the smokiness of the fish cake. I am a big fan of that wine. Okay, so let's see if the oil is ready. The way to check, by the way, if you haven't done this before, just get a little water on your hand and throw it in the pan. And if it pops a lot, then it's ready. If it doesn't pop a lot, it's not quite ready. So I'm going to turn up the heat a little bit and give it a second to do some good popping. In the meantime, we can put some olive oil. We don't use olive oil for cooking, we use it for dressing. Because if you're cooking at high heats, then the olive oil will burn, but the grapeseed oil or vegetable oil or canola oil the chefs use, it will do better. It has a higher smoking content. So olive oil in there with salt and pepper, and toss the frisee, and again, use that box well for using it as a mixing bowl, because why not? You don't want to dirty more dishes. And again, just compost this afterwards because it's probably not good to recycle at that point. Okay, so fish cakes. I think we're probably good to go. So 2 minutes per side. And the fish cake box as well, it's got a little bit of oil in there, so make sure to compost rather than recycle. There's all kinds of things we can do in the meantime. So remoulade. This is another reason why you order Curated by Becca, is because of this awesome remoulade. This is not store-bought stuff. It takes a long time for the chefs to put it together, and it is super tasty. So much so I don't want it to go in waste. Put it on one side of your plate, and then the frisee can go sort of on the other side, and then the fish cakes will go right on top. And we've got a little lemon for you as well. Perfect, that's out of the way. Let's see how our fish cake's doing. Probably just a little bit more required. Don't forget to stir your grits from time to time. My ribs are almost ready to come out to do the barbecue basting. One more minute there. But in the meantime, we can actually set up dessert. So let me move this over here. Get the olive oil out of here. So we've got our lovely chocolate brownie with the dark chocolate icing and our espresso crumble. And that can go sprinkle all around. And just keep it inside the bowl. I know what you're thinking. It's been 2 minutes. Turn over your fish cake, Steve. Lovely. Just a nice little brown crunch there. 2 minutes, it's going to go in the oven, and then we'll start doing the ribs. So why don't we jump on those ribs now? Oh, they smell incredible. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put this on broil. And you don't have to baste both sides of the ribs, just the top side. And you're going to do this 3 times. So 6 minutes in total under the broiler. So make sure to keep enough sauce that you can hit it 3 times. And the other part is that you're going to make some space on the big baking sheet. Oops, for our shishito peppers that we did. And so when you pull the ribs out to baste, make sure to move the shishitos around so the blistering happens on both sides, not just one side. Oh yes. Okay, fish cake looking good. Now going in the oven for 5 minutes. I'm going to put it underneath because I'm doing it both at the same time, and I don't want it to get the top flash of the broil, but the 450 of the oven is going to bake the fish cake at the same time. So we've got that off. We've got the oven going. We've got the grits going. I'm going to season this now so I don't forget. And again, I like extra pepper in my grits. Now these grits, by the way, are hominy grits, which is not like cornmeal grits, which a lot of people are used to. Um, a lot of our customers have reached out to us and said, hey, where can we buy those in town? The only place that I have found them is Produce Depot on Carling Avenue. So if you want some more of these at home, outside of, excuse me, your Curated by Becta packages, then check out Produce Depot. They should have them. By the way, I haven't shown off this gorgeous dessert. So there is our dark chocolate brownie with chocolate icing and espresso crumble. All right. And then we can get going on the plating of our main course a little bit. So we've got our coleslaw. Again, this is something that I love putting extra pepper on and a little bit of extra salt, but give it a stir so that the juices that are at the bottom get all mixed around. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Steve, it's been 2 minutes. Go and baste those ribs. So let's go and do that. Kind of have to have this sort of sixth sense about timing when you're listening to your Curated by Becta playlist, and I can't use my home device for a timer. That's okay. I think I can figure it out tonight. All right. So the coleslaw, I can go ahead and start to plate, and you're going to plate the grits beside this. They packed me a lot of coleslaw, so I may not use it all. That's okay. And for those of you who watched my videos before, you know that my wife comes and divides one of our plates by 2 for our son as well, although he is 17 now, so he's eating more off of my plate as well. But it still feeds 3 of us very nicely on 2 meals. So if you got a teenager at home, you too can do this. Okay, so the cornichon, let's see. And we're going to top with the frisée. So we'll put the fish cakes beside, and then we'll put the cornichon on the end and a little squeeze of lemon. Let me talk about the red wine tonight, which I've been super happy about. I've been really excited to try to find a menu that this will pair well with after I tasted it a few weeks ago. And this is a Barbera Appassimento. And so they dry the grapes on straw mats just like Amarone does in the Veneto region, except this is in the Piedmont region. And Barbera is like the Pinot Noir of Italy. And I just love it. So usually Barbera is light, fragrant, aromatic, has fresh acidity, but by drying the grapes on the straw mats, it gives it another level of complexity. So richer, darker, more dried fruit quality, and it's delicious. And it's going to be great with these saucy ribs. I love this one. And if you order some curated wine cases from us soon, you will probably find it in some of those because I am such a huge fan. I want to share with that. So if you're looking for something special for a Christmas gift, we deliver right up to the 24th. And you can do curated wine cases where you tell us the style of wines you or your guests like and give us a price range. And then we put together an awesome box of 6 or 12 for you. We've got gift cards that can actually be delivered right on Christmas Day. You can choose the date and time that it arrives and also where it's going to and add a message. You can do a dollar value gift card, but also dinners for 2, just like this, or a big night in for 2 if you want to do something really special so that your guests can just redeem the gift card just for that, and includes delivery and taxes and everything. And it's an awesome way to do something for Christmas. Okay, last basting. So like I said, we're going to move the shishitos around so that they blister on multiple sides, not just the one side. And we're going to do some basting. Again, make sure to get it on the sides. This is fun. Tonight is fun. I'm really excited by this. I decided, and maybe some of you saw the Instagram reel that I did tonight for the first time, rather than doing just a menu pop-up. My good friend Harley, thanks Harley, suggested that we can do better. And so I did a little Instagram reel of what our menu was tonight. So maybe some of you came here because of that. And now you're watching the YouTube video. Okay, lovely. So our fish cake's on there. Let's not burn ourselves. Cornichon on top and around. And then a little squeeze of lemon. You probably don't need all of the lemon that we're going to send you, but it's nice to have. All right, so there we go. Our lovely smoked trout fish cake with the remoulade, the frisée, and cornichon. Love Chef Rich's fish cakes. Chef Rich used to, the first place that he was a chef of was actually Gezellig for us. He was a sous chef at Becta years ago, then went off and did some other things, and then came back, and then he became the chef of Gezellig, and then we moved him over to Becta just before the pandemic started. And, you know, he's been incredible, but that's where he did the fish cakes first for our lunches, and they are fabulous. Okay, so we're gonna turn the oven off so I don't forget. And then we've got this. It's a little saucy. Maybe I put a little too much butter in. So I'm just gonna use a slotted spoon so that we take a little bit less of the juice. But hey, if you guys like buttery stuff, then jump right in there. It's meant to be creamy grits, right? Maybe I'll do one with a little extra of the butter. And I really hope you like the curated playlist. I've been working on a new one for a long time, and it's taken me a while to sort of release it because I just keep wanting to change things. Got a little more pepper here to both because, again, I like pepper on both, extra pepper on both my coleslaw and the grits. Okay, we can get rid of that guy. And I think the last 2 minutes is up. And we're ready for our baby back ribs and our blistered shishito peppers. Let's see, grab my tongs here. That is a badass looking meal. And if you're watching this, I just want to say thanks for all the amazing support of our Curated by Becta program. A lot of people asked if we were going to continue this after the pandemic was done. And the answer was hell yeah. And it's only because you guys keep ordering that we get to do this. By the way, if you got a little extra sauce at the end, why not throw it on there? Get that nice glistening quality to it. Lovely. And there is our smoked baby back ribs with the blistered shishito peppers, the creamy grits, and the homemade coleslaw. I hope you love your meal this week, and I hope we get to cook and curate for you again very soon.